Hello and welcome, I'm Jamster, and this is City Skylines. So this is a series I'm genuinely, I love this game. I've been watching a lot of people play it on YouTube, specifically Fresh Popcorn and Flux, and I think it's Flux Trance if you want to search it up, and Strict Toaster. They're excellent. I love watching them build. So I wanted to give it a go. I just never had really sat down and really tried to do anything in this game. So I really wanted to sit down and do it. And I honestly, I've had a blast so far. I've only done a little bit after the general map shaping, but because I want you guys to sort of be involved in the building process and feedback and try and get things going in that regard. Now, what you're seeing is obviously time lapse. Every episode is pretty much going to involve some sort of time lapse. I wasn't very good with the tools at this point, so I also decided to just completely scrap that. It went so badly. The water flowing over it really bothered me. So what you're watching is just me shaping just getting the general shape of the map laid out. And as time goes on, I do a little bit of detailing, but I feel like you can't really, I don't want to go into a super detail in the map creation here, because by doing that, I'm not going to sort of confuse myself, or not confuse myself, but I felt like it was best to not do it that way, so I don't go into super detail in this. I'm very much... Anyway, so as you can see, I'm making, two islands. It's sort of hard to see that now because the water's not around. But the reason the water's not around is because I've prevented the edges from having anything there. I think a water-based map is probably a good start. I think there may be a couple cities will do. This obviously not all at once, but I think you get the point. I'm taking it slow, so I don't really know the tools at this point. This is the first time I've ever mucked around with terrain editor more, and really even tried doing anything in this game. The only other time I've ever played this game, all I did was build a very basic city, and then I got frustrated because my laptop couldn't handle it, but this computer, it can. And better than that, it can play this game in 4K, so hopefully you guys are enjoying that aspect of this. If you can watch in 4K or in any higher resolution, these videos will support it, so that's exciting for me. I had a lot of fun figuring out how I was going to do that, and I mean, it's not hard, but yeah. So this is when I sort of figure out sort of a way to make the terrain look a little bit better. I think overall I would probably change a few things, the way I did it, just adding the sort of bumpy thing and then just smoothing it out. I mean, it works, it makes it look better, but I think there are better ways to go about doing that and making it look better overall. Okay, so at some point I should be building... here we go. So I'm building a mountain now. Now, this was probably... I am very much so, as I said before, I've been watching Strict Toaster, Fresh Popcorn, and Flux Trance, and I'm very much inspired by them. So if you watch any of those videos, you should probably see me trying to sort of mimic a few of the way they go about things, because they're pretty much the only people I've seen do this level of style. I know that other YouTubers do it, but I just haven't watched them, so I don't know, build style and such, how that looks. But as you can see, a mountain, it's not perfect, but I think for my first time, I'm pretty happy with it. It could be better. The thing I found is when you have the brush strength on anything above 0.05 and stuff like that, you just end up with giant little pillar things, and it makes editing terrain very annoying. I didn't really figure that out until quite a lot later. It was very frustrating because you'd click just for half a second. I mean, obviously you can't tell, but you wouldn't click for very long, and suddenly you've got a mountain. It was just I was sort of surprised. But then when I watched some of the other videos, some of the videos from the people I've mentioned, you look when I do see the meditating terrain, they have the brush strength very low. So it's those things. That's just something I love about this. Like what I love about creating these videos and doing things like this when I'm inspired by creators that I love watching, is you get to learn and it's not just that you get a greater appreciation for the stuff that you've been watching. Like this, just from doing just this very basic map editing. Like you'll see by the end, it's not. I didn't go over the top like I could have. I just had such a greater appreciation for the detail and the level of stuff that these guys they get in there, and it's just like crazy. I mean, something I didn't think I would. When I did this, I wasn't sure if this would be a real series, because the problem is I didn't think I had the patience to do any sort of proper detail. But the truth is, when I started doing it, I just had so much fun. It was just a blast. Like to do something that I've been watching for so long, I just enjoyed myself and I loved it. You won't see that until episode 2, because obviously I don't go into huge detail here. The best detail there you're going to get is the mountain and the sort of heads that I made. But to give you an idea of what's inspiring me in terms of terrain and such, at the time of making this video, I had just recently gone to Fraser Island, so you'll see there's a few things in there, and we'll get to it soon, that inspired me greatly from it. So hopefully we get there. The only thing I've got to say that is a bit annoying is because the terrain is difficult to screw around with, and the tools aren't as easy as they could be. Oh, I forgot that was the thing. Yeah, so there were 2 sessions just for the map building. The reason I actually had to do the second session was I started trying to build on the map, and I realized that the detail on the map was just a little bit too little. Like there wasn't enough of it. So I just wanted to make some more things and get it there. But at the same time, I hadn't installed the terrain editor mod. Like I didn't really know it existed. So I thought I had to like finalize the map, and I didn't, which is something I didn't want to do, because it was like, it's not that I didn't want to finish the map, it's just like I don't know where the map is going to go. Like right now I've got some ideas, but then like those ideas are going to spawn new ideas, and it's just, I know that the way the map will go is not something I can predict right now. But this is my favorite part of this. So I was mucking around with water. I was trying to see, like, just create a little lake. This is where Fraser Island sort of got inspired a bit, where obviously it's got the fantastic lakes. If you've ever been there, you would know what I'm talking about. But it's just got some beautiful, beautiful lakes, and this was me trying to mimic that. Like, I just wanted a lake or two around the map, but then this happened, and I was like, holy crap, it's pretty much a river with a waterfall, and I was just like, that's perfect. I was so happy when I saw it. It was like the stars aligned, and it just worked, because I did try it briefly, and I just could not get it working. I didn't know what I was doing, but then it just worked, and I was just like, whoa. It was genuinely like, I was quite excited about it. And I really love like the idea of flowing water. The only thing that's hard to tell, like, I don't know how big this river is. I don't know if it's a river or if it's a creek, because there's no buildings around, and this game's a bit strange in sort of the size of things. It can get a bit skewed. So I don't know yet whether or not this is really like a really big river or it's a fairly small river. I don't know. I mean, lengthwise it doesn't seem big, but it doesn't seem big now, but like once everything's around it, it could look like it's a huge river compared to the buildings. Like, I don't know. So I'm really excited to see how that all shapes out. I think my plan is I want to have this sort of area around the river be my downtown sort of area, I think. Because I just, because if you've ever been to Brisbane, which is the city I live in, actually most cities in fact have rivers going through them, I believe, like, or have large bodies of water near them, because of trading and stuff like that. I mean, this river, you could not get boats up, but the idea of it, I think I like the idea that that would be the main place for the city to sort of grow out of. It was when that river happened, I was genuinely like, holy crap, that was just the best thing that happened during that session. I was just so happy that it worked. Right now, what I'm doing is I realize that the terrain around the map, if you or sort of the water's edge, is just incredibly like far below the actual terrain height. So if it's a bit hard to see, you might spot it. Like, you can see on the right hand side, like there's cliffs all around these islands connecting the water, and so I wanted to change that. Which thankfully I get a good portion of it. I think I want a mix of cliffs and beaches, but I'm not not sure how I want that to pan out just yet, because I haven't seen or I haven't done everything, so I don't know. I'm a bit worried about this tree counter that's at the top, because we've already hit 35,000 trees and I've only covered like a very small portion of the island. So I'm not, or of the islands, so I'm a bit worried there. So yeah, so as you can see by the title of the video, these isles, I'm calling the Jenny Isles. However, I do not have names for the individual islands. Now, I don't know if technically if you would have names for the individual islands. I mean, I'm calling them the Jenny Isles as a whole. Like, I feel like there are islands out there that have a name as a group, and then you got individual ones. And I'm sure that's a thing. I just can't think of a place where that's the case. So what I would really love is some names for the various sort of natural wonders, or natural what I'm trying to say, the natural sort of elements around the map. So like these two heads, which I really like the idea of this having two sort of, I sort of imagine that these two large headlands, is that what they're called? I feel like that's what they're called. Anyway, I feel like, or at least in my imagination, they're facing towards the ocean. Out there is the big blue sea, and then behind them, and if you go through between the islands, is the mainland of whatever continent they're nearby. So I guess in my case, they're near Australia somewhere, because you will notice if you've eagle-eyed soon that when I place down the highways, I place it in left-hand drive. I think, at least. I'm not sure. But yeah, so this in particular, this is when I was really thinking about Fraser Island. Like, I was really reminiscing on it. I just wanted a huge lake that sort of would be like a tourist hotspot. You'd go swimming, and the thing that I loved about this place, or I reckon if I could ever go there, I reckon it'd be amazing for the view. Like, you could swim and you could just look out into the ocean and be like, I reckon if there was a lake like that somewhere around the world, it would be a really big tourist hotspot. So I've got something I need to do there, but I don't know what I want to do. It's all like sort of, I don't know what's going to happen yet, but I'm really excited for what could happen. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. It's just, but there's so many thoughts just going. Oh shit! Sorry about that. So I probably have to edit that out actually. But anyway, I'm just so excited. Like the thought of all these things. So yeah, I'm gonna leave you guys here. So you should enjoy the music coming up. I'm probably gonna put in Monody, because that is probably my favorite song at the moment. So enjoy, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.
the whole world at our feet, watching seasons change.